military.
All right,
do we want to?
Yeah, you were real quick. Just talk
Trump's
about the
Truth
fucking.
Social?
And look, this military
I'd
parade was
rather
so
hit
stupid
Trump's
for
Truth
so
Social.
many goddamn reasons, but
Yeah.
there were sponsors, so take it away.
Well, so I had it pulled up yesterday, and I was kind of doing yard work. So I was just listening to the feed essentially. And there was an announcer who was sort of walking you through sort of the history of the army and Revolutionary War, blah blah blah, like going through the eras. And some of it was actually interesting, I'm not gonna lie. There was a point where
so that's fair.
yeah. Right, because that's the whole premise of this affair is 250th. Right, we all know it's for Trump's birthday and his ego, but officially it's for the Army's 250th
Nobody would ever claim they were
anniversary.
in the Army. So true. Go ahead.
Wow, that's not okay. We're just gonna okay. So in between, I can't remember. It was like between like Korea and Vietnam. There was like a slight pause in sort of the whatever script he was reading, and he goes, "Sponsored by Coinbase." And I'm just doing yard work, and I just busted out laughing because just how the fuck is that real, man? This is an official government event, right? Like, we're
Wait,
putting
first of all,
on-
you were doing yard work while listening to the parade?
yeah,
Is that true?
correct. That's correct.
Holy
yeah.
shit! What? So you weren't watching it? You were just listening to it, and you thought you would
I was
glean
just
like
listening.
what did you think you were gleaning from it? You just wanted to hear it? Like what was the deal there?
It was purely curiosity. I didn't
That's
know what
fair.
the event was gonna be like, and
That's fair.
I didn't want to actually watch it because it's a parade. Parades are fucking boring. So I was like, whatever. I'm doing busy work out in the yard. Like,
I can
listen
just see
to it.
you out there.
You know, it's just background shit.
Hear that ad and be like, the corruption is you just have to laugh. You know what I'm saying?
I did.
You just like
I did.
this is so on brand, but so like out of bounds at the same time.
I was putting
do you
down
say?
mulch, and I just had to stop for a minute and just laugh out loud to myself like a crazy person. Oh,
Be like, this isn't shocking.
sponsored by Coinbase.
Yo, and you know, along these lines,
worse,
let me ask
too.
you this: do you ever think to
It
yourself,
got worse.
especially since it sounds like you have more? I have some, but you have more people in your day-to-day life that might like be pro-Trump still. You ever think to yourself, how could you even possibly be pro-Trump 100%, knowing that he dropped a meme coin right before his inauguration? So basically,
don't
what
know
I'm
it.
trying to say is like, do you ever think to yourself that one fact, not just that, there's other things that's so damning that you think to yourself, you're just like, how could anybody say that Trump is only out for the American people, knowing that this is true? Like, that's fucking crazy.
Yes.
Go ahead. You were about to say something, so go ahead.
No, 100%. I cannot agree with that sentiment more. Like, there are.
Were you gonna say they don't care though? Is that what you're gonna say?
No, they don't know it. They don't know
Oh.
it, man. You know,
Okay.
I hear from people who are MAGA around me. I still what was this? Maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. And somebody who I know for a fact is pro MAGA, and he makes comments. I don't actually like explicitly engage because if I were to honestly have a conversation
It
with
would be
this guy, I
tough.
would not.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Like,
It's
I
gotta
work
be
with
good
him.
faith. We've talked about
There's
this.
no
Go ahead.
reason for. I don't even want to. Right. I just nod.
Or
and
actually, at
say,
work, fuck it. We're
"That's
just here to
crazy."
work, no doubt. Go ahead.
Well, it's not to say I don't have those conversations, but I have to trust that you're good faith. If you're not,
Right.
it's not worth it. Regardless, he brought up the fucking litter boxes in bathroom, and I just like, it's so hard for me to bite my tongue there, because like, bro, you
You're
know
just like,
that's
is this
not a real thing,
2018?
right?
Are we 2018 right now? It's just like,
No, right? Like, not only is
Yeah.
that fake news, that was fake news years ago.
ago, man. Who gives a
There's
shit?
no way this guy knows that Donny Boy launched a fucking meme coin before he got elected. I bet you this guy doesn't even know what an NFT. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah, no
they're
doubt. There's plenty of those people. Yeah, no doubt, no
There's
doubt.
a
And
good
I
chunk
think
of them that
it's-
just
yeah.
they're disconnected from the obvious corruption that the rest of us see. And I don't know how. I don't know how, but they know about litter boxes in public schools allegedly.
Dude, it's the same thing when I hear someone like Aaron Rodgers, who used to be my favorite athlete of all time. In 2025, when even coming out of his mouth, if the word is shut down, lockdown, COVID, or Fauci, I roll my eyes. My eyes go backwards. I can see the back of my brain. That's my eyes all the way. And I just feel like that's the same thing that happens to you when you hear that shit. You're just like, your eyes are just
love
like,
it. I
you
love
can't
it.
even see anything anymore. You're just like, what are we doing here? Do we ever get
Well, it's
over
because-
things? Do we ever
I know,
acknowledge that
I
things
know.
might be false? Or acknowledge that things have gotten better? No, we can never fucking do that.
what-
Let's say that was true, that there was litter boxes 5 years ago. They're not true anymore. Like, we can't even do that. Go ahead, sorry.
The COVID vax shit kills me the most though, because to have lived through just the panic about it, and to hear the predictions of just millions are gonna drop dead from this, and then literally nothing happening, and then to still be talking about it after all those predictions just fell flat on their face, blows my fucking
You mean
mind.
millions will die from the vaccine, correct? Is that what you meant?
Yes.
So
yes,
dumb,
yes.
man. So fucking dumb.
It's like the I forget his name. Ray Camp might have been his name.
I don't know
But it
who
was
that
this
is,
guy.
but it's a turd burglar.
It was this evangelical. Was it his
Sure.
name? I don't think that's correct because I googled that and I'm getting nothing. But it was essentially this evangelical who had an access to a very large nest egg, whatever it was. He had a big sum of money, and he was convinced of a very particular day that the rapture was going to happen. And he put out billboards and caught a lot of media attention, and the day came and went, and literally nothing fucking happened. And he made another prediction for years down the road, 2 more times, and still retained a following. It's like, how are you people still here? You panicked, and you pearl-clutched, and you were wrong about the big moment several times, and you're still somehow caught up in this conversation. Like,
It's
you're
too
just
easy to
fucking...
say that they don't critically think. I think that's too easy. What is it? I just think that they hope and wish so much that somehow it just misses every single filter that any normal person or me and you have, to where like they have such a hope and wish and a determination to believe this thing that not being true would be so devastating that it's not a possibility. That's how these people retain a following. That's the only way I can think of it. It's these people that are so fucking dedicated that they've already given up every single thing in pursuit of this. So even if the first one goes wrong, we're going to stick to it, and we're going to glide with it, and we're going to ride with it till we die, because it's what we are now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it becomes an
Sucks.
identity.
Yeah, sure. I
Be-
try to make it real
becomes a
colorful
motivator.
and entertaining, this fucking idiot. But
Sorry.
yes. So now, it's fine. No, you're right. You're 100%
Just
right.
crazy to me. It's so
Oh,
like
this
it's so
fucking guy.
hard for
Yeah.
me to. I agree. As I have that impulse of just rolling my fucking eyes whenever somebody brings up, like whenever I hear somebody
dude, you
talk
can
about
see
on a
the back of
popular
your brain.
podcast of being canceled these days. It's just like,
It's
dude, this
so
rhetoric
dumb,
is so
man.
fucking tired.
You know what?
And the fact that I can hear you saying it means you are not canceled. What are we
Correct.
doing?
Correct. And you know what's worse than someone bringing that up? The fact that nobody pushes back on it, because these people are usually in friendly spaces to where they can just say like they were canceled. And
Yeah.
not to slander the hosts of any of these places that entertain this in the way that they like say like yeah and agree that they were canceled, but they never push back. They just kind of like
Yeah.
roll past it. They just allow these people to say
Yeah.
they were canceled, and they never say like, what does that mean? It's kind of like
Right.
when someone says like they said this, it's like, who's they? Who the fuck is they, bro? Like, is they in the room with us? Are the people that canceled you in the room with us right now? Like, I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
So yes, that's very fucking annoying, and it's in the same vein as anybody saying Fauci. You're just like,
Oh
shut
my
the
God,
fuck up.
Fauci, I can't.
Like, the man that's 5'2" and served his country for 40 years in healthcare. Yes, he wanted to. It's just like, you people need. Again, it goes back to the main conversation. It's like, how do people get this way? What makes them get this way? Why would they be so gassed up about something that's easily disprovable? I don't know. And it's the only thing you can ever come up with. It's just, you're so invested and you're so believed in something to the point where you've already cut off even like normal relationships in your life. So at that point, if that changes or the date doesn't happen, who cares? Like,
Yep.
the next date is still valid. The next thing is still valid. Whatever.
Right, because to lose faith in the whole thing would be to mean to have faith in nothing. Like for them, if
Right.
if they fall out and if they get disillusioned entirely, they literally have nothing. There is
There
nothing
is,
left.
to me, there is a certain kind of person that puts such stock in the identity that they choose in that way, to the point where that investment cuts off normal relationships in life, and to like diverge from that would be identity suicide, which is not acceptable
Yeah.
for these people. It's going to
Yeah.
be identity or bust, the way that they
Yes.
get so involved. And it's sad as fuck,
But
because
it's
folks out there,
sad. It
you
is
should
sad.
know that, we got a couple fat weaklings talking on this podcast, but even these fat
Wow.
weaklings,
Damn.
I don't see it as a weakness to be dynamic
Don't
with
be
your
rude.
beliefs and to take in certain things and allow those things to change your mind. Like, that's not bad. I don't understand how these people who get so, well, no, I do understand. I keep saying I don't, but because we've talked about it, it's like these people get focused on what they believe to the point that it's detrimental, and now they can't leave that identity. But the way that you should be like open to things, proof evidence wise, that might change your, because it could like, don't get so married. It's so fucking weird that people get so married to something. That shit is weird to me. Like, I'm gonna be forever a natural skeptic to my core, and that just doesn't jive with me. Yeah.
Yeah, there was always a sentiment from Christopher Hitchens that I think I appreciate a lot, and it's, and I don't think it's unique to him, but he definitely comes to mind. But it's something of the idea of, you start with the facts and you let that lead you to your belief. You don't start with your belief and then amend facts to fit
Yes.
what you want to be
That's
true.
the way to say it, yeah.
Like it's I get that some people treat things as sacred, but you just have to take the world for what it is. And if you can't do that, then we end up with the Donald Trumps of the world, where it's just this weird, like, emotional knee-jerk reaction to just a world that seems incompatible with what they thought America was. You know what I mean?
It's just an unscientific knee-jerk reaction, because it's not
It's
scientific.
protectionism, right? Like
Yes, correct.
these
I was going to say
people
it's
are-
not science. If you look at it from an economic perspective, let's take immigration, and you cut. I saw some right wingers over the weekend saying they want to stop illegal and legal immigration. It's like, if you cut immigration, you're going to hurt the economy. That's a fact. So that's like a scientific. Like, it's not scientific at all. You're just taking You're taking a path that is rooted in no sort of proof or evidence or any set of facts. And that is, and human beings have done this time and time again in history, and it's always fucking bad. It's bad.
You're so bought
You're not-
into the way the world should be that you just believe whatever confirms that for you. And you go along with anybody that's going to just sort of cater to what you think.
Yeah,
about.
and if I may say, that's the beauty of, even back in the 1700s. Now, it's fucking a long time ago, and things weren't perfect because we had the 3/5, whatever the fuck, and other things. But even back then, I think there
It was in the
was
1800s.
enough of an enlightenment of realization to how things should govern that would actually work for a majority, knowing that human beings suck. Okay, how can we do that? Let's just divide out the power a bunch. Let's divide the power out to make sure that people can check each other. That's the only way. Because you could get the most perfect person in history, Jesus Christ, and you could make him king and say, you have this power, you're king. The minute that he's gone and the next king takes power and he's not perfect, you're fucked. So how do you work with that? How do you work with the fact
First
that
of all-
human beings in a lineage eventually are fucked? You got to spread that power out to where things can be checked and balanced. You don't have that. Go ahead.
It is a little ironic too, because the American, like the whole American enterprise initially, early on, I believe was referred to as the American experiment, because it was kind of the brainchild of the Enlightenment. It was this attempt at separating the state from religion and finding a framework of just secular society So it's all the more frustrating that this is where the American
Yep.
experiment is at. This is our stage of the experiment, and it's getting a little tough. And we're
Yep.
falling prey to the exact same impulses that prompted the exodus to America to begin with. So
If you want, bottom line is, if you want to keep your freedom, you have to extend that freedom to others in your society. And if you don't, you won't keep your freedoms. You won't. They might not come for you at first. Again, I don't know what this quote is. There's some Nazi quote where it's like, they didn't come for the socialists. They didn't come, whatever the fuck.
right.
I sat alone and whatever.
First they came for the communists, and I said nothing because I was not a communist. Then they
But
came
if
for
you
the...
vote, and I'm not saying like you gotta like stand up and do things, but yeah, if you don't at least like actively vote and try to stifle that kind of shit,
yeah,
then
lose
your
it.
freedoms are gonna be limited too. Fuck you.
Yeah, I will say.
I only
just
voted to limit. I only voted to limit colored people's freedoms. It's like, yeah, but then once you gave them that power, go ahead.
Wow.
We're looking at you, David Duke. Sorry, go ahead.
God bless.